I'm Susan from Tarjac. You may know us as the source for the best camo for your guns and bows, but we do so much more. Our custom work with automotive parts can transform any vehicle, our ATVs, sleds, four-wheelers, motorcycles. We've received national recognition for our work with Orange County Choppers, and we are most proud of our partnership with the future servicemen by providing customized helmets for the Army-Navy game. From the national stage to your favorite hunting ground, it's Tarjac.
Hello and welcome to the CNY Business Connection. I'm Jason Weinstein. Coming up on this week's show, some year-end tax tips for you from Jerry Harrison Financial Services, and the latest bit of business wisdom from someone who has lived it thanks to our friends at Prendismo.com. But we'll begin with the consequences of Governor Cuomo's lack of funding for extra DEC regulators were fracking to come to New York State in 2012. Here's the industry and anti-frackers with their thoughts.
The natural gas industry says it's not surprised Governor Cuomo did not include funding for extra DEC regulators in the event fracking comes to New York State in 2012.
And it may not start till summer or fall or even closer to 2013. We certainly hope earlier, but the bottom line is it's going to be a very limited activity to start with, and certainly wouldn't be necessary for the state to put any money in the budget for that at this point.
Shepstone also says that additional regulators in other states are funded by fees on drilling permits. The DEC has yet to come up with a fee structure, but each well to be drilled would require its own permit, according to Shepstone. In an email to Fox 40, the DEC said it did not include additional staffing for fracking in its 2012-13 budget request because the ESCICE process, or Environmental Impact Study, is still underway. The DEC says it recognizes the need for additional staffing to oversee fracking if the activity moves forward in New York. The DEC also says it will only review the number of permits that it can responsibly oversee given staffing levels. Anti-frackers say the extra staffing shouldn't have been requested for a different reason.
The DEC hasn't even come out with a proposal where we would want fracking to come to New York. Until they go through and do a comprehensive review of this activity, which the ESCICE is not, then I don't even think we should be talking about that yet.
The DEC's extended deadline for public comment on the ESCICE is January 11th.
While September's floods in the southern tier of New York State caused a great deal of devastation, it is now creating an opportunity, at least say some real estate investors. Here's more.
This flood-damaged home on Valley Road in the Twin Orchards neighborhood of Vestal, and others like it listed by Exit Realty Homeward Bound's Carl Cohen, pose a unique staging problem.
Because they've been stripped down and there's no walls, sometimes I have to tell people which room is what, because it's not obvious that this is a bedroom, this is a living room, this is a kitchen.
Cohen says he's seen three types of investors, some of whom have bought multiple flood-damaged homes. The first group is those who have the ability to fix up these homes themselves.
And they're looking to invest and then move in. There are other people who are looking at this as an investment to fix it up and then rent, and there are going to be other people who are going to fix it up and then resell it.
According to Exit Realty, there have been 25 sales closed on flooded homes in Broome and Tioga counties, with many more on the way. And Cohen says here in the Twin Orchards neighborhood, the prices of those homes really depends on the degree of damage that was done by the flood.
Ranches with one of the foundation walls that was damaged, those are selling below $10,000. A ranch that had no foundation issues that sold a little bit below $20,000. And then I have a two-story kind of like this but without a foundation issue, and that one sold for a little less than $30,000.
Many of the investors buying these homes didn't want to speak on camera. Cohen says he's had to approach his job with extra sensitivity, helping those forced out to get the most for their home while bringing people in who have shown a commitment to rebuild.
Investors or people who are buying to live here themselves, and as we see this neighborhood come back, even the homes and the people who were not affected in the way the people who owned this house were, that's going to help everybody.
Time now for a break, but when we come back, some year-end tax tips from Jerry Harrison Financial Services.
I'm Norm Poltenson. I've published the Central New York Business Journal for 25 years. Our success is based on the fact that we know only one audience, owners and managers of businesses in Central New York. We publish stories for them, we don't offer sound bites, and we always source our information. Maybe technology's changed since I started publishing 25 years ago, but not our mission. You can always rely on the Central New York Business Journal providing your business news.
Make your company's job opportunities stand out and get seen. The Binghamton Business Connection and BizConnectTV.com have created the area's first video job posting service. Don't hope a few words of text will get you the local candidates you want. Get your opportunities seen on the Binghamton Business Connection TV show and BizConnectTV.com/jobs. For an inexpensive multimedia and visual way to showcase your job openings, call 239-0199, email BizConnectTV@gmail.com, and watch the Binghamton Business Connection on My 8.
Welcome back. Time now for a bit of business wisdom from someone who has lived it, thanks to our friends at Prendismo.com, partnering with entrepreneurs for success.
We find that it's easy to lose sight of the 2 or 3 things that companies are really good at, because companies are engaged day to day into so many activities. Okay, just think of the wide breadth of activities or decisions that a CEO, a CFO, the head of a business unit, a chief procurement officer, a chief information officer has to make, on a daily basis. Over time, there is sort of momentum that builds typically in corporations, and you start investing, in countries, in new products, acquire new businesses, and so on. And unless you have a clear mind of what is it that you will do, but more importantly, what is it that you will not do? Events tend to overtake people who are in management position. And I've shared with you some of the symptoms of how it happens that executives who are well-meaning executives, talented executives, end up making decisions in some cases just because there is pressure from the stock market to do them, for instance. Okay? I've shared with you some examples of, if you remember that page, of where executives make decisions because of financial term, short-term considerations. So there are all sorts of pressures out there that force, the management of a company to do things that may look reasonable or smart at a given point in time, but lose sight of what is it really trying that you're competing, on what basis you're trying to compete, and on what basis you're trying to out-execute your competition. And what we find is that the best performing companies in the long run are those who have this clarity of focus on capabilities, and again, who have in mind what they will not do under no circumstance. Okay? Otherwise, because of these pressures, sometimes, and that's life for each one of us, you get overtaken by events, unless you have that clarity of thinking.
We hope you enjoyed that. Well, as the new year approaches, time for some end-of-the-year tax tips from Jerry Harrison Financial Services.
Now is the time to start your year-end tax planning. Take your books and records to your accountant and have a tax review done. After the accountant has had time to review your records, have a sit-down consultation with them. You may need to pull income or expenses into this year, or you may need to push income and expenses into next year. You cannot know the answer without a review of your current records. As of right now, tax rates are set for 2011 and 2012. After that, it is anyone's guess. Your goal is to work to hit the maximum income level in the tax bracket you are currently in without pushing yourself into the next bracket. You can pull income into this year by offering a discount to those that pay early, by invoicing for December halfway through the month, or stepping up your collection activities. Do the opposite if you're trying to delay income. Delay your December invoicing to later in the month so that income comes in next year rather than this year. Note, this only works if you're a cash basis taxpayer. Pull expenses into this year by paying many of your January bills at the end of December. Delay paying December bills until January if you want the expense next year. Determine if it is advisable to purchase needed equipment this year or wait until after the first of the year. When should contributions to a retirement plan be made or employee bonuses be paid? Should you pay expenses in advance to take advantage of discounts, or are the tax savings more if you delay paying until next year? Consider if it is advisable to take that Section 179 deduction now, or if you will want the depreciation deduction in a later tax year. The old adage of delaying paying taxes does not necessarily hold true anymore. If tax rates are on the rise, you may want to delay expenses until future years when the tax rates are higher. If you can avoid taxes altogether, that still makes sense. Delaying the payment of taxes may no longer make good sense if tax rates are on the rise. This is your financial tip of the week from Jerry Harrison at Jerry Harrison Financial Services. Check out our website, jerryharrison.com, for more information, or call 729-4144 to schedule your annual tax review.
And that does it for this episode of the CNY Business Connection. Thank you very much for joining us. Until next time, I'm Jason Weinstein. Have a good one.
Make your company's job opportunities stand out and get seen. The Binghamton Business Connection and BizConnectTV.com have created the area's first video job posting service. Don't hope a few words of text will get you the local candidates you want. Get your opportunities seen on the Binghamton Business Connection TV show and BizConnectTV.com/jobs. For an inexpensive multimedia and visual way to showcase your job openings, call 239-0199, email bizconnecttv@gmail.com, and watch the Binghamton Business Connection on My 8.